I apologize. Um, Give me a second. Figuring things out. You would think I'd have everything figured out, right? I don't, but I'm working on it. Monday, first Monday of the month, the brand new month. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to June. Hey, Sniper. Pepper says, greetings, Eric. Greetings to you, my friend.
Thank you, Jessica. Absolutely.
We got
awesome.
our friend Jason. I think he just got in a workout with Skits. Awesome. Nice to see Skits. Nice to see Skits getting in the reps. I'll be honest, I don't know if they started or if they're finishing up. If they're just getting started, guys, go and over hang out. I'll be here. And I was here once already. Looks like our friend Chosel is live as well. Monday workout, we're back. Chosel's got an awesome channel. Putting in some big work. Hey, William. William says, almost made it. Hey, Half Empty. William almost made it to South Carolina. Half Empty says, hey, good morning. Nice. Were you in Florida this morning? Man, so you made it all the way through Georgia? Georgia's not a small state either. Are you going up 95, William? Sniper says, say the half empty, William Hart. Sniper, how's things in the garden today? On the golf course? Who says I'm on 75 right now? Half empty says football as well. Yeah, things are. How about with you? Half empty. Lady Sky. Hey, Lady Sky, how are you? Lady Sky says hi. Half empty is doing well. So I thought I'd do some reading today. Looks like it might be a slow afternoon live stream. I'd like taking advantage of those slow days that maybe we could do some reading. Is there anything that you guys want me to read? Poetry? Select material from, spiritual texts. Actually, I do want to read something as I'll definitely read something from A Course in Miracles, and I do want to read something from the Bhagavad Gita. Lady Scott says, doing good, Aunt McCarty. How are you? I'm doing good as well. We got our last couple of cool days coming up, and then we're going to hit the 90s again. Hey, Marlon. Lady Sky says, I thought I had a wrench. You might have. And I don't know exactly why you don't now. Now, some wrenches I've taken away, not anything personal, just like cleaning up a little bit. And then if people come back in, they get it. And if you leave a comment, you will see that you have a wrench again. Anna says, hi, Marlon. Anna, how are you? How's everything today? So we're back in business, Lady Sky. Lady Scott says hi to Anna. Anna says, I'm good. Thank you, Yogi. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I got a little bit of allergies kicking in. I was mentioning this section to Toy Pups earlier this morning from the Bhagavad Gita that you have. I don't know if I can get it exactly right on my own. There we go. Hey, Eric Lapointe. Eric Lapointe says, "Hey, Yogi, lurking and working." Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. All right. So I'll read this again if Toy Pups show up, but I'll read it for you now. You have the right to work, but for the work's sake only. You have no right, sorry, you have no right to the fruits of work. Desire for the fruits of work must never be your motive in working. Never give way to laziness either. Perform every action with your heart fixed on the Supreme Lord, Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita. Renounce attachment to the fruits. Be even tempered in success and failure, for it is in this evenness of temper which is meant by yoga. Work done with anxiety about results is never inferior to work done without such anxiety, in the calm of self-surrender. Take refuge in the knowledge of Brahma. They who work selfishly for results are miserable. So if you're always centered on the results, I'm doing this, I'm doing YouTube because I want to get paid. I do want to get paid, but that's not why I'm doing YouTube. What I find is, and of course Miracles talks of this as well, when I surrender everything over to the sake of Brahma, when I say surrender everything over to the sake of God, it means I'm on point, I'm on mission. I know that I'm doing things for the right reason, and what comes from that is out of my control. The only thing I have control over is showing up and staying on the point of why I'm here. Why I'm here is to be kind, why I'm here is to forgive, and why I'm here is to talk about kindness and forgiveness, nothing else. Let's see. Marla says, just got up. Making some pancakes with protein chocolate mouse, just pure whey concentrate, organic, but that's up to the ones making it, with some cocoa powder and some brown sugar, then just add water. Nice. Or oat milk. So it's a mouse in consistency. Put on a chocolate mousse. Now I'm all messed up. In consistency, put on a pancake, and you have a great breakfast or meal any time of the day. Sounds good. Hey, Sean. Sean, how are you? Sean's been up since 2 a.m. Me too, as a matter of fact. But I am every day. Eric says, hey, Anna and Squirrel Sniper. I hope your day's going well, Eric. Marlon says, haven't found a vegan powder that works and tastes well. Even whey isolate doesn't work as well. Keep looking. You'll find the right one just for you. Sean says it's 5:09, going to bed soon. Sean says probably 21 minutes, Anna. Well, I hope you get some good sleep. Moose is closer than mouse. I thought so. It's been a while since I've had anything like that. I have had no need to say it. But then I started thinking, chocolate mousse, right? I believe, and Anna can correct me if I'm wrong, mousse is French. Hey, Bud Files. but file says, hello, people. Hello, my friend. It's nice to see you. So if you are doing something solely for the end result of any goal, you're limiting yourself. You're out of balance. If you are working, whatever your work might be, and whatever it might be, I hope it's joyous. I hope you are experiencing joy in your work. That means you are following your Dharma. If you're not in joy, in spirit, inspired, you're not following your Dharma. Dharma, it's Sanskrit, roughly meaning purpose, your purpose. Hey, Bushka. Bushka, nice to see you, my friend. And it says, how many hours do you sleep usually, Yogi? Been sleeping about 5 hours a night. A little less. If I had a sleep watch, my sleep's been interrupted a bit lately. Don't know why. I've been going to sleep okay, but then waking up. That doesn't normally happen, but it has been for maybe a month. So probably a bit under 5. I try to get up consistently without an alarm, but I have my alarm set for 2:25. I'm usually up at about 2:15. So that evenness of temper, which is what is meant by yoga, according to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, was a big interest for me for a long time. I wanted that unswayed by the travesties or joys of life, to sound a little poetic. That as I was going through life, everything, the good stuff and the bad stuff, all of it was surrendered to God. To me, that sums up the path of yoga. Of Course in Miracles is a little different, but along the same lines. Course in Miracles wants you to experience joy because the state of God, the state of love, absolute love, of which we are, is joyous. I've read before, and I'll read it again. As I said, I'm sort of in the mood for reading. St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, one of the most beautiful and maybe apt descriptions of love. I'm just going to read the end of it. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not jealous, it is not pompous, it is not inflated, it is not rude, it does not seek its own interest. It is not quick tempered, it does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. For me, that sounds remarkably like yoga. That the evenness, again, unswayed. Love doesn't sway because love is anything. Love is everything. That which can be swayed is not love. Which brings us right back to A Course in Miracles and the introduction, which we'll go to. The entirety of A Course in Miracles can be summed up very simply this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. We can say that real is synonymous with love. Only love is real. Love can't be threatened. If love can be threatened, then it doesn't exist, meaning it's an illusion. However, illusions, as Albert Einstein said about space and time, can be very stubborn illusions, meaning that I use the example of my desk. The desk itself is an illusion. It's not really solid. If it was examined in a atomic microscope, we would see that it is cells and molecules, atoms, particles, subatomic particles, subatomic particles, and then an infinite emptiness with all of that dancing around. What sounds solid about any of that? but I can still stub my toe on it, and I do. Not every day. Um, hey, Jace. Jace says, "Happy Monday." Hello, Jace. How are you? How was the session with skits? Hey, Chris. So, if only love is real and love can't be threatened, how do we get pulled? How do we get sucked into um, what feels like the absence of love? It's a good question, and I'm glad I asked. Um, let's see. Sean says I'll probably say at 12:30 p.m. live. Oh, okay. I'll be here, Sean. I tried to do the ghost paper challenge, but the pen didn't fit under the door. And as soon as I got my writing, I hit 4 a.m. I don't know what the ghost paper challenge is. Half Empty says it's been intriguing to me how yoga is very entwined with the Bible. It is. Paramahansa Yogananda has several books, and many have said that the lost years, the missing years of Jesus were spent in India or perhaps Tibet studying yoga. Don't know if that's true. Doesn't matter. Even independently, people come to the same conclusions. You know, the two people were working on theory of evolution at the same time. I forget the other guy's name. He was in Scotland. But one published first. Edison and Tesla were both working on electric currents. And Edison not only patented first, but he suppressed Tesla's idea, which was actually better. I think Skitz probably, or I'm sorry, I think Sniper probably knows more about that. Skitz says he's just a yogi. I love that song. Doing burpees in his basement. Guys, go check out that song. It's on Skitz's page, channel. Nature Dog says, I'm glad you did also. Let's see if I have an answer. I can't guarantee it. How do we get sucked into that which is swayed, that which feels so real, the suffering and the sorrow of life? Let's unpack that. Hey, Alexander. Alexander says, happy birthday. Says, hey, Yogi. Happy birthday to me. You're almost 2 months late, my friend. It says, thanks, Bushka. Happy Monday. Half Empty says, yes, you do know that about Edison and Tesla as well. Jay says, gives a wave to Alexandria. Great entry. Hey, Toy Pups. We get sucked into the unrealness because we believe in it and because we are powerful creators. We are endowed. There's one mind. It's the mind of God. We are joined minds. Joined. Collectively, we've created a very solid universe. And yet, quantum physics literally shows us there's nothing solid. Nothing. There's no such thing as solid. Imagine that. But there's the appearance of solid, and there's the heaviness of apples dropping on the heads of classical physicists. Sir Isaac Newton. Don't think that really happened. So everything seems real, feels real, but doesn't make it real. We can take it even farther, spirituality wise. As the Course says, only love is real, nothing unreal exists. In terms of thinking, we can trace everything back to its source. And when we get the source, we get to that one mind. And then we get projection. This is the cosmology of A Course in Miracles. In that one mind, William says, another stream ignored. What do you mean, William? Let's see. I'm looking up. I don't see anything from you since we were talking about Georgia. So cosmology. Remember, cosmology is just a story, but there is an actuality to it. Skit says, good to see you too, Bushka. It is good to see Bushka. Jason says, well, did you see my message, bro? Alexander says, is it free to become a member? Nope. Costs 99 cents. I just gave 10 away. You can do it at the first of every month. Bushka says, okay, nothing is solid in the long run, but anything that is solid now is temporary. Not even temporary, because we can only view things in the long run, eventually. So even the solidness of this table right now, it is still empty. That's the great message from the Buddhist Heart Sutra, which is one of the most chanted passages of any book anywhere. Right now, there's literally millions of Buddhists across the world who are chanting the Heart Sutra. And the great line of emptiness is form, form is emptiness. And the all important word is the big revelation to quantum physicists is, meaning it's not that emptiness becomes form. It's not that emptiness became this desk, and it's not that form can revert back to emptiness. So it's not like saying this desk will go back to emptiness. It's saying is right now, this desk, solid, is emptiness. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. Hey, Lucy, I wonder if I can look that whole thing up. It's long, so I won't read the whole thing. So there is a point to that. We are collectively hallucinating solidness. We are collectively hallucinating a world that seems to be the absence of love. That doesn't make it real. Only love is real. If you are experiencing anything other than love, it means that you have joined in that one mind. Again, going back to the cosmology of A Course in Miracles, in the one mind of God, of which we are. Creators within the creator himself, herself, however you prefer. The only thing that we could not do, being endowed with every power of the creator himself, Brahma, is create ourselves, because that was already done. And yet, we had what the Course called a tiny mad idea, in which we wondered, what would it be like to be separated from God? And we forgot to laugh at that tiny mad idea. And in that instant, being endowed with all these creative powers, we created a world in which it appeared that we are separate from God, in which we appear to be separate from love, in which we appear to be separate from each other. And yet, that's an impossibility. Can't be done. But it certainly feels real, doesn't it? Our job, this is a role of forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't to bestow something upon someone. I forgive you because. Forgiveness is to see there is no separation between me and you. There is no separation between someone who appears to have done something to me and the holiness of which they truly are. My job in forgiveness is to see the holiness and selectively only remember that. Doesn't mean we don't have discernment, doesn't mean at the level of form that we don't take care of ourselves, that we don't protect ourselves. Hey, Debs. So here we could retranslate emptiness from the Heart Sutra to mean capacity. And the role of capacity is to become, to hold. A bowl has a capacity to hold soup. A mug has a capacity to hold coffee. Never tea. Tea comes from a cup. A mug is made for coffee. I think Big Al might back me up on this. All right. What else do we got going on in the chat? Any questions about any of that? Anything you guys want to talk about? Any of that? Roy said, did I get banned and not see it? What's going on, Roy? I mentioned you. Guys, give a shout out to William. Let him know if you can see him. Can you hear me, William? Hey, Michael. Half Empty says, emptiness is solid. Emptiness is emptiness. And it's also form. Form is emptiness, and it's also form. It's not that. This is when we get into having to accept paradoxes, the complexity of existence itself. So that means everything, including us. We are emptiness. This is the nothingness talked about in Buddhism. This is the great emptiness that's talked by the great Christian mystic Eckhart Meister. Meister Eckhart. Sorry. This is the emptiness experience in Advaita Vedanta yoga. And yet, we are a emptiness that is capacity for all things to exist, consciousness itself. It's the amazing thing about realizing your own nothingness, your own emptiness, is that you are literally in possession of the entirety of the universe within your nothingness. Tip says, I just got here and was about to say, why so solemn, everyone? You beat me to it, Yogi. Toy Pup says, we acknowledge you, William Hart. Dundee says, we're always watching you, William. Skid says, did say it before, but William, do you see all of us, William? Half Empty says, that seems to make a lot of sense and how that would change things up. Ultimately, if you see that only love is real and nothing unreal exists, then you hold that which is unreal, which means anything that feels threatening, anything that feels scary, you begin to take it with a bit of a smile on your face. Let's see, what did I see there in green? Our friend, hey, Anne, member for 1 month. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Anne. Anne has just become a member. I hope you enjoy. I need to put some new content on the members only channel this month. F50 says, made up the universe. So we literally are, if everything innately is emptiness and constant flux, becoming form but never leaving its source, we are the universe itself. Literally, we are the universe itself. We are the Big Bang and the absence of the Big Bang all at once. Sepa says, Alexander Greer, you'll still be 12 no matter what profile picture you have. So I hope you can see William. Hey, Dolly. Deb says, I got a new phone and keep kicking myself out. What kind of phone did you get, Debs? Toy Pup says, Anne, thank you so much for supporting the yogi. Thank you, Toy Pups. And again, thank you, Anne. Hey, Rhonda Boy. Hey, Lee. Deb says, replace fear with faith and a higher power in yourself. And once you can see through fear, Once you can see through it, that's it. We always think, the spiritual path, there's so much work to do. There isn't. You want to see through fear, forgive, be kind, because then we transcend the ego, and ego is the home. Give me 1 second. One second, guys. Before you say anything, up on live stream. So I don't know if you want your voice to be heard.
Oh, that's fine if it goes across.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can. This is our friend William, guys.
Oh, I was just asking for you to call. Hello, chat.
Yeah, can you not see our comments or hear me mention you?
Oh, I see the comments, but I guess my messages aren't transmitting through YouTube, which isn't very surprising considering I'm driving.
Right. Okay, just so you know that you're being acknowledged for sure. We would never not acknowledge you, my friend.
Well, yes, thank you. Like I was seeing the messages of everybody saying hi, but I guess my messages weren't going through.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see him. Sorry about that. You in South Carolina yet?
No, I was saying that I got almost halfway through Georgia, and then I got a text message that I might have a job opportunity in Florida. So I guess I'm turning around.
Awesome.
It's kind of annoying.
Annoying, but this might be your job,
It's not even guaranteed yet, and it was just only that they were going to ask if they could hire me, not necessarily I'm getting an interview or anything.
Right. What's the job?
Plumber assistant.
Okay, that sounds like something you would like.
No, not really.
No?
No, I wanted to continue all the way through to Maryland.
You just want pancakes.
Oh, that too, yeah, that would help. But I have a couple of job interviews up in New York already lined up this week. Now
nice.
I guess I'm not going.
Well, you don't have to go back to Florida, do you?
No, I don't.
Maybe stop the car, sit, and ask yourself, what do you want? And then see what unfolds.
That's definitely not a bad idea. I don't know. I tried to do that earlier and ask for a sign, and then I started to turn around before your stream started. And now I feel like if I turn around again, I'm just going to get a text message saying I got approved for the job.
Right. Sometimes a sign isn't an outward sign, it's just an inward feeling that you're on the right path. So there's no harm in sitting and seeing what unfolds. Just for a little bit.
Could you repeat that? Sorry, I had a car whiz by me.
I was just saying, that not every sign is, an outward, do this big booming voice. It's not always a burning bush. Sometimes it's just an inner tug in a particular direction. So if you stop and just sit for a bit and see where you're leaning, see where your heart wants you to feel, and be attuned to the sensations of your body, particularly in your heart center, as you ask yourself the questions: what do you want? What direction do you want to go? Do you want to go north? Do you want to go south?
Oh, I definitely wanted to go north. I was kind of pretty much set on that. That's why I left early this morning.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of opportunities up there, and
What job do you want?
I don't know. I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
What job is more appealing to you?
Definitely the ones that are up there. definitely sound like I have at least more opportunity up there, even if I am living out of my vehicle for a while.
Give yourself a few moments just to sit. You know, if you find a safe place to pull over, and then just sit and see what feels best for you.
I had a question because you were talking about at the beginning the Course of Miracles thing. How do I particularly apply that to my scenario? You know, if I'm listening to fear or not, and in which direction would I be listening to fear?
That's a good question. Do you mind if I dive back in the chat and answer it?
Yes, go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna jump back to the YouTube stream.
Okay. I will address that right now. I think that's going to take a bit of unpacking. Thanks for asking, Roy.
All right.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. 1 second while I jump back over here.
You got it. So, friend William Hart. William Hart is driving from Florida to New York. He's been in some conflict about what he wants and the what's available. The two don't always coincide. Fear isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not real. That's the important thing to consider. So how do you know? Deepak Chopra offers what he calls listening to your path of heart, where you literally ask yourself, let's read it. Give me 1 second, guys. So, William, this is from Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak Chopra, which is a handy guidebook of yogic thinking. It is not from A Course in Miracles. However, it is not too far off. Whenever I make a choice, I will ask myself two questions. What are the consequences of this choice that I'm making? And will this choice bring fulfillment and happiness to me and also to those who are affected by the choice? I will then ask my heart for guidance and be guided to its message of comfort or discomfort. If the choice feels comfortable, I will plunge ahead with abandon. If the choice feels uncomfortable, I will pause and see the consequences of my actions with my own inner vision. The guidance will enable me to make the spontaneous, correct choice for myself and for those around me. Comfort versus discomfort. What feels more comfortable? And the thing is, remember, Deepak says he's asked from the heart. And of course, Miracles, it would say your heart, Holy Spirit, synonymous. You are. John says, I messaged you on Messenger. Thanks, Sean. So we are asking the Holy Spirit, the language of the Course of Miracles, in the language of yoga, we are asking the heart. And you go in the second case, we're going by comfort versus discomfort in that heart space. Let me know if that helps, boy. Hey, Jace.
Happy Monday.
How are you?
Really good. In quite a good place at the moment. Everything's ticking along. It's flowing. Everything's flowing. So William's just he's raised a really good point. He's not sure of his direction. He's contemplating what's going to come in front of him, and obviously he's like, "What do I do?" There's a couple of things. Obviously, we can't ever give anybody a clear answer. We can give them some tools that might help them to find an answer for themselves through their own thoughts and their own decisions, which is always the only way. And it's commonplace for everybody. But try and find something that you've got a passion for and that you enjoy and that you love. And if you get to a point where that passion, and that enjoyment, that love isn't the same anymore, don't be afraid to go and find something new. There's always fresh opportunities and new avenues to explore, always. The secret is, remember, doesn't matter how old we get, we're always capable of learning. So learn as a child, at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60, and always have that same approach and that same attitude. Makes a difference, and it helps you to work out some of the issues that you might get stuck with otherwise. So remember your direction. You got to choose your own direction. Sometimes you go with the flow. Other times, make a plan. Try and stick with that plan. Follow it through. If you get to a point where that route starts to change, as Eric said, take that pause, weigh up the decisions, make the choices, and see what the consequences are, and then reevaluate and go from there. But never be afraid to explore new avenues. It's what we have to do. You're never stuck in one place. You're always free to roam. That's all I have to say. Happy Monday. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
Appreciate that. I'm
Um,
sure
two
William
minutes,
does too.
2 minutes 22. Happy Monday. Don't forget P. The P wasn't just a little thing it was a bit of a joke to start with, but it's become quite significant. Use those 3 letters, positive energy always. Remember the P. It will help you. Much love, brother.
What's up to you?
I can't
you,
go
Jace.
without going, thank you. Love you, Mumsy.
Thank you, Jace. Our good friend Jace. William says, sort of, not really. Wouldn't I choose fear? Maybe damaging relationships with family of my own safety, or fear of making it on my own by leaving. I'm not sure that fear is a choice, William. Fear is an experience. The experience isn't a choice. If you go into that heart space that Deepak talks about, if you ask the Holy Spirit, you're going by that sensation of comfort or discomfort. Now, there still might be fear present, but what does the fear signify for you? You know, there might be fear of damaging relationships. You do that going north. There might be fear of making it on your own. You do that going north as well. But if you keep examining the why of what you're doing, then even in that presence of fear, you got that thread of truth, that thread of love that guides you on your way. So keep looking for that thread. Dolly says, William, you're sensing. Viv says, we don't have bad times. How about we know to be grateful for the good times? He says, Alexandria, how are things? Sorry, I missed some comments up above, guys. Hey, Chef. Chef Mary's here, says, like Ben, how are you doing? Chef Mary, I'm doing very well. How are you? We got some love from Ann. Thank you, Ann. Flip Up says, go in a direction and don't look back. Sean says, what type of Christian are you in religion and culture? I'm actually not a Christian, Sean. Flip Up says, positive energy always. Flip says, I know a guy who left New York with a tank of gas and $17 to go to Georgia. He was 17, ended up married, and owns a restaurant. Nice. Marlon says, peace and justice for all. Evan says, does William have narcissistic parents? What would you say, William? Evan wants to know if you have narcissistic parents. Marlon says, well, if I go back, I think I would be resentful, but save my relationships on the surface, and I would have some semblance of safety with temporary housing or have nothing but my own stuff leaving to work. So, William, I think you know my own thoughts. Your relationships are your work. No matter where you go, you're going to have to work on those relationships. By that, I mean you're going to have to, you're not going to work on changing the relationship with people. Going right back to that definition of it in A Course in Miracles, do not seek to change the world, seek to change how you see the world. Don't seek to change your relationship by working on a relationship with a person. Go within and change how you perceive each and every relationship and watch the miracle happen.
Hi,
Hey, Toy Pups.
Yogi.
How are you?
Hi. How are you? Not on for long, but I just wanted to come on and give words of encouragement to our friend William Hart. We believe in you, William, and I do believe that in your heart, you know what you want to do. Right now, the fear is the unknown. You're questioning, should I go this direction or should I go that direction? And as Chase said, and as the yogi says, who they're amazing, by the way, gives such great advice. My advice would be, not that it means anything, but to trust in your heart. I believe your heart is already telling you what direction you should be going. And right now, I feel you're carrying other people's burden on your shoulders. And so it's very heavy and it's a lot to carry. I would advise that, William, trust in yourself like we trust in you. Believe in yourself like we believe in you. Because, William, you're very smart. You've got so much big dreams. Those dreams come from an imagination. It comes from something inside the little you that still believes in William. William's been fighting for William for a very long time, fighting everything that's coming against him, everyone that's been negative, that says you can't do it. But guess what? You're in a group of people right now that believes that you can do it, that believes in your dreams as well. We believe in you, William, and you got this. Use no way as your way, as the famous Bruce Lee says. Use no way, which means it's impossible right now. That's the fear in your mind. It feels like any which direction I go, I'm going to be lost. No, there's a direction that it's the scariest one for you in your mind. Trust in that, because after fear, after you've done something that you're so scared to do, but you finally did it, what do you normally say afterwards? Oh my gosh, I wished I had done that earlier. I wished I had done that sooner because it wasn't as scary as my mind made it out to be. So if I could say one thing, is just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself because we believe in you. You've got this. You've got this. Don't do what you've always done. Do something different, my friend. Do something different. It's time that you stand up for yourself because we're going to be right here. When you seem like you're leaning to the side or you're leaning to that side because you can't seem to find strength, guess what? We're going to be right here to hold you up. The yogi, he's your number one. He answered your call while he's doing his live stream. Wow, yogi. You're the best. You're like one of the bestest person. You missed my comment, but I wanted to say, Yogi, you're one of the most awesome, most amazing, most perfect person I've ever met. You're like the most considerate, the most compassionate, the most giving person that I've ever met. And I want nothing more but to support you. So I think my 5 minutes is up. I love you so much. I hope that helped. William Hart, you are acknowledged. We acknowledge you and we love you so much. God bless. Namaste.
Namaste to you, my friend. Thank you for those kind words.
I love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Love you, Toy Pups. So, William, I saw your comment above. I do want to say to our friend Sean that, Sean, just my view, God doesn't belong to any religion. So talking about God doesn't put me into any particular religion. It just puts me in the conversation about and with God. Um, so, William, I saw that you said your heart is saying to give into fear and embrace the safety. And Yogi would say, I can make it work there instead of leaving. You can make it work anywhere you go, William. You can make it work wherever you go. My the one thing I've always wanted you to explore is your reason for wanting to leave, and a lot of it has to do with relationships that you don't feel that you are getting what you need from the relationship with your family. And I'm not saying that you're not, or I'm not saying that you are. Um, but to heal the relationship, again, doesn't mean that you work on the relationship with the person, with the people. It means that you go within and you change your perception of the relationship. And that can happen in Florida. That can also happen in New York. You can make it work wherever you are. But the main work, all of our main work, is um, the work of awakening, becoming aware of ourselves within the mind of God. And when you do that, things begin to flow in a very magical and mystical way. That can happen wherever you are. However, you're going to find that relationships repeat themselves in other forms. If you have not healed within your relationship with family, you're going to find people playing the role of your family in other places. And it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Learn to forgive, true forgiveness, meaning that you are seeing through the story and seeing the essence. I told you of that person, that student of A Course in Miracles, who uh, was entire family was afraid of the father. He was violent in temper, not physically, but violent in temper. Uh, very quick tempered, prone to loud, explosive outbursts. Everyone walked very tenderly around him the entirety of her life. Uh, when she was in grad school, she was given an assignment to interview a family member. For whatever reason, she chose her father. And I don't remember the question she asked, but it was a very simple question. And he began with, my entire life I've been afraid, which shocked her. The loudest, most, not bullying, but, this explosive temper guy is now saying his entire life he'd been afraid. She asked him why, and he said he was afraid of not being able to support his family. He was afraid of turning out like his father. He was afraid of all kinds of stuff. And of course, that fear manifested in the conditions of his life. He brought all of that fear to surface. It didn't change him, that confession, but his daughter, again, who was a student of a course or would become one, it changed her because she realized she didn't know her father's story. She just projected her own story. He was this way because of all the reasons she believed he was. But when she was able to let go of that story, she saw that wounded child of her father, and her relationship changed because she changed. So, whatever direction you head, north or back south, it comes on you to change the relationship with your family by going within and changing how you perceive them. When you are at peace, you're going to find that even if you're away, even if you're up north, you're going to improve every single relationship that you're involved in. Or it says, does it change if it's my mom asking her boss to hire me? Nope. Alexander, what's my phone number? The question is, Alexandra, why on earth would I give you my phone number? Yeah, it is, William. So here's the thing, William, you can't make a wrong decision. You simply can't. You can make things work no matter which direction you head. Have confidence in yourself. That was a message from Toy Pups. Have confidence in yourself. You can make it work in New York. You might be more uncomfortable in New York because you're gonna, as you said, you're gonna be living out of your car for a while. If you can accept the consequences of that choice, you'll be fine. If you go back south, you can make it work. There's a lot to be said for having a roof over your head and working, being able to save money. Then you have an entire year or more to save money and start thinking about what you would like to do, what direction, what's your ultimate goal. You'd have a year of, you mentioned maybe a Buddhist monastery. You'd have a year of studying Buddhism, practicing Buddhist meditation, or you'd have a year of studying A Course in Miracles. Jeff says, "Why my mom was paranoid skits, and they can hurt you to the core. Don't dwell on her anger. Not your story, not yours to carry." Chris says, "Fear paralyzes us from being the best of ourselves, for us and our loved ones." Fear is never. Here's why fear is the absence of the awareness of love. It's not the absence of love because love can never be absent. But when we are in fear, we are blocking love's presence. We're blocking our awareness of love. The reason why is because love is always of the present moment, and fear is always based upon the anxiety of what might happen. Hey, cat, get away from cat. Get some love and a sunflower. Sorry, I'm smiling to myself. Um, so fear is a great reminder. Am I outside the present moment, which is the only moment of actuality? And can I return to the present moment? Someone once asked me about what if you're being attacked by a fear, by a bear? Wouldn't you be afraid and wouldn't you be in the present moment? The answer to that is I don't know. I've never been attacked by a bear. Um, but probably not. I don't think I'd be afraid. I would react. I would react very forcibly of running or whatever, fighting back, or you know what I mean, whatever option was available. Reaction, adrenaline based reaction, is not fear, it's adrenaline based reaction. The fear would come the moment after when you find yourself shaking. Anyone who's been in a situation like that, anyone who's been in an actual physical confrontation, know in the moment, maybe right before it happens, you're afraid. What after you're afraid, but when it's happening, you are simply reacting and reacting and reacting. Mar says, "How do I change the perception of their story?" You never can change the perception of their story because it's their story or my story projected onto them. The answer always comes back to forgiveness, William. Radical, true forgiveness. If you see it's a story, you have to take it so personally. And if we stop taking it so personally, even just a fraction of a bit, it gives us a little bit of maneuvering room. John says it would cost a heck of a load to call. You can call through Facebook Messenger. Cat's waving at Maddie. Dip says, "William, email me the town you end up in, please. I'll help find housing." Alicia says acting without thinking about the consequences later. Yep, which is just pure action, which happens in the moment. And the moment itself is the absence of fear. Deb says, well, you're making it a story. Lee says, Alexander had to Google the rag. Yeah, I actually don't know what it is either. I didn't know what it was. It's the rag? The rag? Don't know. Warren says, thank you, New York Debs. Half 50 says, do you think you're once you're established and can see your happiness, that will change their perception? But if you're happy, will you care about anyone else's perception? You always care. You won't care about their perception of you in the way that brings anxiety or worry. You will care because you're a caring person. You will care because you're compassionate and you're empathetic. But that doesn't change what you do any longer. Abraham Maslow, the father of positive psychology, who formulated the hierarchy of needs. You guys remember the pyramid? He later wanted to revise that based upon shamanic principles of sharing and community that he discovered with the Blackfoot Indians. Never quite got around to it, though. He wanted to sort of do away with the hierarchy of needs. You didn't need that base level covered before you went to the next level and the next level. You could self-actualize wherever you found yourself. Anyway, he was asked about the symptoms of a self-actualized person. And his reply was that a self-actualized person is independent of the good opinion of others, meaning they act from their authenticity. When you practice forgiveness, you are maneuvering through life through your own authenticity, attuned to whatever it is, whatever inner voice, whatever label you want to give it. Holy Spirit, your inner teacher, the voice of Jesus, the voice of God, the voice of Krishna, your Buddha consciousness. You are led by that. And when you're led by that, you know that you are always intuitively making the right decision. And if you inadvertently listen to the voice of the ego, which is always the voice of fear, you know you can self-correct at any time. You can self-correct and self-correct and self-correct. Yeah, it would cost a lot, Sean. So we can't concern ourselves with someone's perception of us change, but we change our perception. It might, but we can only do what we can do. But when you've changed your perceptions, when you've healed your perceptions, and you're seeing with vision instead of perceiving, what you find is you approach everyone with so much more care, so much more tenderness, and so much more kindness and compassion. And then people respond to that. That I can guarantee you. Your life will change through the actions of forgiveness, not in ways that you can even imagine. We think that we say, well, you're forgiven, that people will say one of two things. For what? What did I do? It was your fault. And they might say that. Nobody even has to know that you've forgiven them. It's not about them. It's about setting yourself free. Setting yourself free from any type of perception, your own and someone else's. With that, you're free to act with love in every given situation. Pup says, can't worry, you can't worry about what your family thinks of you. Stop looking for approval. Do you become stronger? And watch them change right before your eyes. Chris says, "You're welcome, William. I just checked out your posts, and you are very talented, extremely talented, and very, very intelligent. This is why I said wherever William wants to go, he can make it work out. The question is, how does he want to make it work out?" Sean's going to go to bed. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Sean. Always appreciate it. Hope your family is doing well. Hey, Go Batman. Go Batman says, so, host Yogi, namaste. Namaste to you, my friend. Dip says, I'm not sure where that is. Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester area is what I know best. Finger Lakes are beautiful and friendly. I've been to the Finger Lakes before. I had cousins that had a cabin and went there quite a few times to water ski. Kat says, they're changing is not guaranteed. Agreed. But when we've done our work, it doesn't matter because we've done our work. It's never about them, it's always about us. That sounds selfish, right? It isn't. Because one of my favorite expressions, one of my favorite quotes from Ramana Maharshi, there are no others. It is pronounced Greer, as in William Greer, who played Grandpa Waltons on the Waltons. Chris says, bye to Sean and hi, Go Batman. William says, I wish I could take credit for those images. They are all AI generated. But didn't it have to come from a spark in your imagination to get them generated? It says, William, speak positively and pray for your car. I made it with, 1,500 pounds of stuff, busted frame. God's got you. Thank you, Deb. Toy Pup says, great live stream. Thank you, Toy Pups. Yogi is my uncle's cousin. Is your uncle's cousin. Interesting. I don't know a single Greer. But hey, stranger things have happened. Where it says, thank you, Toy Pups. Chris says, so good, William. Hey, Mom Dog. Mom Dog says, so Yogi and chat. Mom Dog, thank you for coming in. Let's mod you up right away. Mom Dog, I always love seeing you around the YouTube streets, and it's even lovelier to see you here. Where it says sort of, but I have no control over the image seeds it uses. I don't want to take credit if it's still someone else's, if it's still influence elsewhere. They exist to serve a purpose. Gotcha. Mom Dog says, Maddie. He says, Mom Dog, I missed you. Says, I appreciate you. Yogi, I appreciate you too, my friend. Maddie says, Molly is awesome. Yeah, wherever I see her, she's always such a positive force. Deb says, I personally am praying for you, William, without ceasing. Thank you, Debs. Molly says, oh, Maddie is awesome. He is definitely awesome, that's for sure. Chris says, I've made many changes in my life without anyone's approval. It was situations that spoke to me, and I followed, and my life has been a fantastic journey. It sounds like you've listened to your heart, your truest heart. In yoga, it's called the Hidra, which means heart center, different than the heart chakra. Carlos Castaneda, the great shaman, Toltec seer, would say, ask yourself, does this path have heart? And if it does, then you follow that path. You can pivot wherever you find yourself. Nothing set in stone. We are nothing if not flexible. Go Batman says, it was nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you, Batman. Deb says, do what feels best for you, William. Quick Pup says, it's all good, William. Hopefully we were able to help you. We're here to support you, my friend. Chris says, made me who I am today, which is an awesome person. Go Batman says, the teachings of Don Juan. Indeed. Yeah, quite a few of his books, this shelf and that one in the next room. Deb says, William, you need us and we will be there for you. No worries. Absolutely. We're going to be ending the live stream in just a minute, William. So concentrate on driving through Atlanta. I've never driven through Atlanta. I've been stuck in the airport overnight, though. It's a beautiful airport. If you got to get stuck in an airport, Atlanta is the place to be. It has a art gallery. I spent the whole night just wandering the halls. And it says, it was nice to meet you too, Go Batman. So your heart, your truest heart will not lead you wrong, but it might lead you in ways that are unexpected. And Chris was saying that. It might lead you in a direction of what you most need to learn, and it feels a little or maybe greatly uncomfortable. The presence of fear might be there. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that your lesson is to learn to see past that fear into what is there to learn. The Yakuo way of knowledge. Yes. His last books, last maybe half dozen books, were my favorite. The Power of Silence, The Fire Within. I can't remember his very last book, the name. We got some rainbows for Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Chris says, thanks, Yogi. So are you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. He says, atmospheric changes make us sensitive again. Be safe driving, William. Thank you, William. William says he's going to keep me updated. Mom Dog says, be safe, William. Maddie says, all the best. Deb said, sends some love to Mom Dog. Go Batman says, Wheel of Time was his last. I will be back. Namaste. Namaste to you. So that's not the one that I was thinking. Let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick, and then I'm going to go, guys. I'll be back, though. The Infinite, something infinite. The Art of Dreaming was awesome as well. The Active Side of Infinity was the one that I was thinking of. I thought that was his last. A Separate Reality was excellent as well. Journey to Excellent might be my favorite, though. That was his second one. Hey, Go Batman, come on by. Let's talk Carlos Castaneda. All right, guys, thank you so much for turning out. We needed you here. You were important. You were important support for William. Just obviously important to me. Thank you guys. F empty says that was a very home-hitting story about the person who interviewed their father. It is. We see our parents, we see our family members, we see our friends, we see the world through the lens of our perception. But the lens of our perception is clouded with the ego's version, not the truth. Imagine if you knew that what was going on in our parents' head, if you knew the turmoil of what they were going through, how much it could explain. And you might question, well, why didn't they tell me? Why didn't they do this? Because they can't. If they could, maybe they would have. Casey says, I think I'm only going to do tarot live streams. YouTube drama pushed me away from doing panels, and I cannot have anything or anyone interfere with my work. I can understand that. So everyone has the perception of their story. Everyone's story is based on their perception. But even their perception of what happened is still just a perception. Man, think how much we've lived our lives based upon those perceptions, faulty or otherwise. Maddie says, bless you, Miss Jager, my friend. Bless you, Maddie. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure things out as we go. All right, I got a green screen up. I don't want a green screen up. I don't know how to get rid of the green screen. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day before I press another button and mess things up even worse. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for turning out for William. It's much appreciated. I will see everyone later. Take care. Thank you, Eric LaPointe.